But what made that tragedy even worse was the inaction of an LA County Sheriff deputy who saw the shooting and just sat in his car and did nothing. He did not render aid to the victim who was still alive in the car. There's a videotape shot by a Good Samaritan who had the courage and the conviction to take off her shoes. She took her shoes off and she broke the window to help render aid. That's unbelievable. The deputy is sitting there in the car, not doing anything, trying to help the victim who's in the car still alive. It took a Good Samaritan to take off her shoes and break the car window before the deputy even walked over there. And that's why we're calling upon Sheriff Robert Luna to launch an investigation into the practice and the procedures and the protocol on what to do when someone is in distress and still alive. So we're hopeful that the investigation will take its course, but obviously this family's grieving, the community's grieving. So as we demand justice and a call for action, we want those responsible brought to justice. We also want an investigation to understand and why this deputy did not help render aid, because what happened never should have happened. So with that, I want to bring up someone who has become a South Central legend, and what she did was legendary. It just was. It was legendary. So we're grateful for her activism and having the foresight to videotape this deputy not doing anything. And I need to say this because when I saw the video, I was horrified, angered, and upset. It reminded me of the deputy in Uvalde, Texas, as the school children were shot and needed help and needed someone to come to their aid. That deputy did anything. When I saw the video, it reminded me what happened to the school children who should have had aid given to them by the sheriff who was on scene, but those sheriffs did nothing, and the LA County deputy sheriff who we saw in the car, he didn't do anything either based on what the video shows. So with that, I want to bring up Dion, who is a Good Samaritan and a hero. She's the only one. She's the only one who tried to render aid to the victim, the only one. So we commend you for being a Good Samaritan and trying to help save her life while she was still alive.
Can we get your name and spelling, please?
Most definitely. My name is Dion Michelle Leslie, D-I-O-N-N-E, middle initial M, last name Leslie, L-E-S-L-I-E. CEO of Clean Unity Movement, a nonprofit organization that actually started right here on Imperial in Vermont in 2016, where I've been saving lives, homeless people, women and children on bus stops and street corners, getting donations from Facebook followers, also a freedom fighter. I've been an activist right there on Imperial in Vermont, where we shut down Liquorland for 93 days for being disrespectful to the black dollar. And here I find myself on this day getting off on the wrong stop. My stop is Figueroa Station. Okay? I get off on Figueroa Station where I was already had my lift set to pick me up. But I was struggling in the train with water that I had donated from the airport, where I normally give out water on my way home every night. And I thought my journey okay, God had other plans, so I gave my food and water to the young lady, walked out and said, I'll just go get me a burrito. How I would never know if this would change my life. When I heard the shots ring out, I knew automatically it was not no firecrackers or no fireworks. If you live in that neighborhood, you know the difference. I immediately ran into the dispensary down for my life. I nearly ran to the back of the store because the shot sounded so loud, like it was coming at me. Immediately after the shot stopped, immediately I came out and looked out, and the first thing I saw was a police officer's car. So I'm thinking in my head, oh wow, the police just shot somebody. And the whole time I'm thinking, this is what happened. I don't know that this was a drive-by. I'm not knowing what's going on. I'm thinking the officer did this. And from his reaction, that confirmed that he was the one who did the shooting. So I never knew what happened. When I came upon the vehicle, I was expecting to see nobody because he was doing nothing but on the phone saying it was a fatality. So I'm like, well, what's going on? So I'm looking around, and part of the footage was deleted on Facebook. They caught a conversation between him and I. So when I went to the car, I asked the person, were they okay? The person lifted their hand up and did a no position like this. I saw that the person either had shot wounds, maybe defensive wounds on her hands. That's how I knew it was a woman. And when I went around to the side of the window, I saw her struggling to pull herself up between two seats, which was the front, the driver's seat and the passenger seat. She was lodged. That's why it was so urgent. Somehow that part got cut out. She can't breathe because she's stuck in between the seats trying to pull herself up. I looked at her and we caught eye contact, and I knew at that moment that she was needing me. So I needed help because I had just fell at work and hurt my knee, and I did not even have the ability or strength. So I needed somebody to help me first sit her up nice and neat, not drag her out. I needed somebody to help me sit her up and pull her out where we can get her some air. And it totally did not play out that way. The officer, I begged him several times to please, is it even okay for me to help her? Am I going to be doing something wrong? Am I going to go to jail? But I just could not take it anymore. So that is the reason why I took my shoe off and broke the window. Because she needed me, and she looked at me, and she was struggling to pull herself up, but she could not because she was almost upside down. But she looked at me and I looked at her. So that's the reason why I was traumatized. To see what happened after that, it was devastating. I will never be the same. To find out that that was a schoolmate that went to Parent Elementary with my daughter, and I actually taught her drill team and dance and exercise, and I knew her. Do you know how that feels? To know that she could have been saved. She was fighting. She fought when she got out. She fought to the hospital. But imagine those 30 minutes could have saved her if they just would have put her in a car as if she was a fellow officer, as if she was their daughter. That's how I run my nonprofit organization. Everybody I come in contact with say, this is my uncle, this is my sister. That's why Queen Unity Movie was generated, to bring more women together, for us to unite, because people think we don't get along, but we love each other. And so I need to get that information to her that I was there for her. And I was not going to fail her. And if I had to go to jail doing it, that's what I was going to have to do. But she was going to get some help. She was going to get recognized that she was in that vehicle alive. And we were not going to sit around because nobody is like us. We love each other. We go hard for each other. And we will do anything to save our sister. If she was under a car, we would pick it up. And if she just had an opportunity to get that chance to feel that love of other people helping her, but people wanted to stand around and do nothing. They did nothing. And that officer, he should go to jail for doing what he did. Nothing. He sat there and chewed gum like it was fun. He actually looked like as if it was all going to be fun for him. Calling people saying that we have a fatality when you haven't even checked on her. You don't even know if she's alive or not, but you're calling in a fatality over the intercom to tell other, bring on the helicopters. I mean, his voice, he wasn't even breaking a sweat. I didn't even see a concern. It was like he was an alien. It was unreal. So that is why I wanted her out the vehicle. That is the reason why she was fighting so hard to get out the vehicle. We both were trying to get her out the vehicle, get her some air, let her breathe. She was upside down for too long, which probably caused a lot of pressure on the brain. And that is why I feel she is not here, because if she was fighting for that long, that 30 minutes could have turned into 10 minutes. They could have had her in a car that would have been a police officer. But guess what? She was a nurse. She was a hero. And we will never, ever, ever let her name go down like this. She was a humanitarian that helped others. So God sent me there to help her. I appreciate you, Lord, for giving me that vision, that guide. When God tells you to move, you better move. And that is my 955th rescue for Clean Unity Movement. I will continue to advocate for those without a voice.
Thank you. All right. So next, we'll have Arvis Jones, a
Grief and loss therapist.
And the mother's going to speak too, but we want to try to have some of the other speakers first while she composes herself. So, Sister Arvis.
Hello, my name is Dr. Arvis Jones. As you can see from my shirt, I'm representing Moms Demand Action, a national organization to fight gun violence. But I'm sad today, not just because of what happened to Regine. I was doing this grief and loss work, and then my own son was killed at 38 in a mistaken identity. My youngest granddaughter was born 6 days after. So I'm straddling both sides of the fence. I'm a gang interventionist, but I'm a mother. And I really got sadder today when I got here, because half of these people up here, or at least 2/3 of them, we've been working together for gun violence, police brutality for years, and it's still going on. Please, 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 we must do something about our young people, about their emotions that tell them, you don't talk, you don't communicate with someone you have a difference with, you kill them. It's our fault because we are not training our children about what it's like to be of a different race in this country. It's called BIPOC. Black, indigenous people of color. That's who we are. I even saw the video. Turns out I know Dion. I'm sad that I know so many of these people. So please, if you know something, say something. You can do it anonymously. I'm here today to fight for the person that speaks out. So many people besides Dion saw what happened. So I'm here to ask you, please notify the authorities, please, anonymously. Many of you know gang interventionists in your community. Tell them. Thank you.
Thank you. So, our next speaker will be the mother, and it's important that I also say this. The mother now has legal representation. We spoke to Attorney Ben Crump yesterday. Ben Crump is certainly going to fight for justice. He's going to demand justice, and he told the mom and myself he fully supports and demands an investigation by Sheriff Luna. So, Mom, say your name and stuff.
Hi, you guys. My name is Anjanette, A-N-G-I-N-E-T-T-E Morgan. I am Regine Morgan's mom. Regine was my only daughter. She was a beautiful little girl. She was a typical teenager and an adult. She was considerate, thoughtful, very respectful. I love my daughter so much. And this wasn't supposed to happen to her. I'm going to demand that she gets justice for what happened to her, and the officers that were involved, they need to step aside, or we need some investigation. I don't want her death to go in vain, even though she's going to always be here in my heart. Yes. I miss my daughter already. That was my only baby girl. She was only 22 years old, and she did not deserve to die like that. So That's all I have to say right now.
Thank you. So,
You want to talk? Okay.
You want me to speak, please?
Yeah, yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, come on, can Blue say something?
it's your turn.
Oh, okay. How we doing? Come on with me, Shep.
I'm getting
Okay. Well, my name is Perry Dado. They call me Avalon Blue. We do gang truces, and people say we want peace. They seem like it's soft. I don't see nothing soft about this. Then we're losing our little girls out here to senseless gang wars and murders. Our kids, we must be walking our daughters down the aisle to get married.
That's right.
We must be doing proms and growing up, growing old, watching our great grandkids out here. Big homies out there, man, do your job, man. Send the right message to the little homies, bro. This is not what we're doing no more. It's 2024, we're not doing this no more. We're not seeing no more mothers crying, no more dads crying. We ain't sending kids to heaven too early. We can't keep talking about what the next man doing to us. We gotta pay attention to what we're doing to ourselves. We gotta start holding ourselves accountable for what we let slide. We can't always talk about Tupac say, it's us knocking each other off out here. We gotta step up and fly right, soldiers,
Do better.
and do better for our race out here. Because the world is laughing at us on how we doing black on black crime. And the more we point at the other man, it's time to look at ourselves in the mirror and say, hey, this could be your mom out here. This could be your daughter out here. Don't wait for it to hit your doorstep to do something.
Right.
So be a part of the peace movement.
Peace.
That's all I have to say.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Please talk about it.
Very important.